Hello everyone, good day. I am Angel Kim Esquizon and I am a BS Ed Math 3 student. And this is Learning Enhancement 1 subject. So for this video, I will be presenting or discussing you about the general education. So let's get started. For items 1 and 2, mga uri ng pangungusap. Pasalaysay. Ito ay ang uri ng pangungusap na nagbibigay ng isang kwento. Masasabi rin natin na ang uri na ito ay sumasalaysay at ito ay nagtatapos gamit ang tuldok. So, ang halimbawa nito ay ang luto ni nanay ay masarap. Then, patanong. Ito ay may tinatanong tungkol sa isang bagay. Nagtatapos ito sa tandang pananong. Ang halimbawa nito ay, sino ang kumuha ng pagkain sa mesa? Sunod naman ay ang pautos. Ito ay nagbibigay ng utos sa isang tao upang gawin ang isang bagay. Nagsisimula ito sa isang pandiwa o salitang kilos at nagtatapos sa tuldok. Halimbawa naman nito ay, kunin mo ang salamin ko sa kwarto. Pang-apat, padamdam. Ito ay nagpapahayag ng matinding emosyon o nagpapakita ng damdamin. Nagtatapos din ito sa tandang padamdam. At ang halimbawa nito ay, wow, ang galing mo palang sumayaw, Eva. So, papunta tayo sa mga katanungan. Unang tanong ay ang, Naku, nahulog ang baso. Anong uri ng pangungusap ito? A. Pautos, B. Patanong, C. Padamdam, o D. Pasalaysay. Ang tamang sagot nito ay letter C. Ito ay padamdam dahil nagpapahayag ito ng matinding emosyon. Pangalawang tanong. Si Peter ay tumatakbo papunta sa kanilang bahay. Anong uri ng pangungusap ito? A. Pautos, B. Patanong, C. Padamdam, o D. Pasalaysay. Ang tamang sagot ay letter D. Pasalaysay, dahil nagtatapos ito sa tuldok at ang pangungusap ay nagsasalaysay. So, for 3 to 5, we have is cohesive devices. So, when we say cohesive devices, it is the connectors or the linking words or phrases that shows the relationship between paragraphs or sections of a text or speech. So, example is, she couldn't sleep because of the noise outside her window. So, there are types of cohesive devices. We have is adding, sequencing, illustrating, the cause and effect, comparing, qualifying, contrasting, and emphasizing. So, for the adding, we have is the and, also, as well as, moreover, to, furthermore, and additionally. And under the sequencing, we have is first, second, third, finally, next, meanwhile, after, then, and subsequently. And for the illustrating part, we have is, for example, such as, for instance, in the case of, as revealed by, and illustrated by. Under the cause and effect, we have is because, so, therefore, thus, consequently, and hence. And for the comparing, we have is similarly, likewise, as with, like, equally, and in the same way. And for the qualifying part, we have is but, however, although, unless, except, apart from, and as long as, or and if. And for the contrasting, we have is whereas, instead of, alternatively, otherwise, unlike, on the other hand, and conversely. And lastly, we have is the emphasizing. So under the emphasizing, we have is above all, in particular, especially, significantly, indeed, and notably. So for the questions about the cohesive devices, we have number 3 is the officers of the organization donated snacks to the frontliners. Blank, the members, provided sanitizers and surgical masks too. So, the what cohesive device is being used in the sentence? So, letter A, we have because, B, also, C, thus, D, indeed. And the correct answer is B, also. Number 4. The accusation has no genuine evidence. Blank, the case was dismissed. What cohesive device is being used in the sentence? Letter A, since, B, indeed, C, therefore, and D, namely. The correct answer is letter C, therefore. Number 5. Anna is an excellent student in the school. Blank, she doesn't do homeworks on time. What cohesive device is being used in the sentence? Letter A, thus, B, so, C, however, or D, because. The correct answer is letter C, however. So we will have now is number 6. So number 6, monosaccharides, oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides are types of what? A, lipids, B, nucleotides, C, carbohydrates, or D, proteins. So the correct answer is carbohydrates, or letter C. So carbohydrates fall into 3 large structural classes that are based upon the number of structural units they contain. First, we have is the monosaccharides. Then, monosaccharides are the simplest carbohydrates. They typically contain 3 to 6 carbon atoms and cannot be hydrolyzed into smaller molecules. So examples include glucose and fructose. The next one is the oligosaccharides. Contain a few monosaccharides, so typically 2 to 10 or so. Then the third one is the polysaccharides, and it contains thousands of covalently linked monosaccharides. The number 7, polysaccharides, triglycerides, polypeptides, and nucleic acids are classified as A, acids and base, B, phospholipids, C, macromolecules, or D, carbohydrates. So the correct answer is letter C, macromolecules. So, each small organic molecule can be a unit of a large organic molecule called macromolecule. And there are 4 classes of macromolecules. These are the polysaccharides or carbohydrates. So, it stores energy, provides fuel, and builds structure in the body. And the main source of energy, structure of plant cell wall. Then the triglycerides or the lipid, it is the insulator or the stores fat and energy. The polypeptides or the protein, it provides the structural support, transport, enzymes, movement, and defense. And the last is the nucleic acids, or such as the DNA or RNA. It is the stores, or it stores and transfers information. So number 8. Ito ang kinikilalang batas Rizal. A. Batas Republika bilang 10533. B. Batas Republika bilang 7610. C. Batas Republika bilang 1425. Or letter D. Batas Republika bilang 8371. Ang tamang sagot nito ay letter C. Batas Republika bilang 1425. So, the Republic Act 1425, it is an act to include in the curricula of all public and private school, colleges, and university courses on the life, works, and writings of Jose Rizal, particularly his novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, and authorizing the printing and distribution thereof and for other purposes. So, the RA 10533 is an act enhancing the Philippine basic education system by strengthening its curriculum and increasing the number of years for basic education, and appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Then the RA 7610 is an act providing for stronger deterrence and special protection against child abuse, exploitation, and discrimination, and for other purposes. And last is the RA 8371. It is an act to recognize, protect, and promote the rights of indigenous cultural communities or indigenous people, creating a national commission on indigenous peoples, establishing and implementing mechanisms, appropriating funds thereof or therefore and for other purposes. So, for number 9. For number 9, it is a list of numbers with definite pattern, and there exists a common difference. Letter A, geometric sequence. B, Fibonacci sequence. C, quadratic sequence, or letter D, arithmetic sequence. The correct answer is letter D, arithmetic sequence. So, arithmetic sequence is a list of numbers with a definite pattern. It is a sequence, or it will be called a sequence if arithmetic if there exists a number D, which is called the common difference, and the common difference should be constant. And when we say the Fibonacci sequence, it is a series of numbers in which each number, the Fibonacci number, is the sum of the two preceding numbers. Then the geometric sequence is a sequence of numbers that follows a pattern where the next term is found by multiplying by a constant called the common ratio, or the R. And lastly, quadratic sequence is a sequence of numbers that are characterized by the fact that the difference between terms always changes by the same amount. For number 10, the last number, find the 35th term in the sequence 3, 9, 15, 21, and so on. So letter A, 117, B, 107, letter C, 217, or D, 207. So the correct answer is letter D, 207. Now, how do we find the correct answer of 207? Simply because we will use the formula for the arithmetic sequence, since our sequence 3, 9, 15, 21 is an example of arithmetic sequence because it has a common difference, it has a common difference, or the D. So we will use the formula. So we have the formula of a sub n equals a sub 1 plus open parenthesis n minus 1 close parenthesis d. So our a sub n here is the nth term, and the a sub 1 here is the first term, then the n is the term position, and the d is the common difference. So we will substitute the given. So the first term we have is 3. The common difference we have is 6, because when we subtract 9 and 3, we will get the answer of 6. So the term position is 35. Now we will use the formula and substitute the given. So the formula is a sub n equals a sub 1 plus parenthesis, open parenthesis, n minus 1, close parenthesis, d. So we will substitute. So the a sub n becomes a sub 35 equals 3, the first term, plus n, the 35, minus 1. 1 should be constant, or it should not be changed. Then close parenthesis multiplied to the common difference of 6. So we have equals 3 plus, so we will, based on the PEMDAS, we will first solve what's inside the parentheses. So 35 minus 1 equals 34. So 34 multiplied to 6. So we have 3 plus 34 times 6. So we got the answer of 204. So our final answer is the 35th term in the sequence of 3, 9, 15, and 21, and so on, is 207. And that would be all for the general education part. Thank you, and this is Angel Kim Esquizon, again saying thank you and have a nice day.